Now that we have a Starling project created, we're going to download and implement the Feathers UI framework that is built upon Starling in order to create our application with a nice set of UI and layout components that Feathers provides. So to do this, go to your web browser and go to feathersui.com to download Feathers. So just hit downloads, and once you download it, it comes down as a zip file. And these are the contents of the zip. So there's a SWIC folder right here, which has feathers.swic. So this is very similar to what we did with Starling. I'm going to copy that. And inside of IntelliJ, I can, of course, just right-click here and choose to show in Explorer. And at this point, I can simply paste in feathers.swic. Now, another thing that I'm going to need to do is choose a theme to use inside of my project. So going back to my Feathers download here, you'll notice we have a themes directory. And inside each of these are a number of different themes that we can choose from. I'm going to choose Metalworks Mobile theme because I just like the way that one looks. And you'll notice you have the assets and source code here for this. And if you wanted to have a peek at what things look like, you can always go inside of the images here and look at this sprite sheet to see exactly what it looks like. But we're going to go into the SWIC folder for Metalworks Mobile, and just like with Feathers itself, we're going to copy and paste it right in there. We can close these now, and inside of our application we can see that Feathers and Metal Mobileworks both show up just fine. What we're going to want to do is go to File, Project Structure, and Libraries, and just like we added Starling, we're going to want to add both of these as libraries. So hit the plus button and ActionScript Flex. And here we have our source folder. We can choose Feathers, hit OK. And we can also choose another ActionScript Flex library from our source here, and that's going to be the theme that we have chosen. So hit OK. And OK. So now we have Feathers itself, we have the theme, and we have Starling project files here, and you'll notice that Feathers is not used. It comes up in this problems thing. So let's add that to my dependencies here, select the project and hit OK. And again with the theme itself, add to dependencies, select the module, and OK. Now it's going to go through, and you can see that each one of these is able to be twirled down so that we can see everything that's associated with that. So now that's how we know that these libraries are part of our project now. What we're going to do to actually get Feathers started is to go into our Start App class here. And right now we're importing a whole bunch of Starling stuff. We're going to want to change this. So what we'll do is actually just keep starling.display.sprite. We can actually remove basically all the rest of this code here because it doesn't really matter for this particular project. And now we can start declaring things for Feathers. So the first thing we'll do is import some Feathers classes. So we'll import feathers.controls button. And then inside of our class here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a public var button as a Feathers controls button. Now notice here that Starling also has a button class we want to make sure to choose the feathers button class when we autocomplete that. That's what we're bringing in here anyway. So now that we are declaring our button instance, we're going to want to put it on the stage here. So just knowing that best practices when it comes to feathers, we're going to actually use an event listener to listen for when everything has been added to this stage. So we want to make sure everything's ready before we start trying to add buttons to the application and so forth. So to do that, you say this.add event listener. And the type of event listener is going to be event. And the type of event we're using is going to be actually a Starling event. So we'll go to starling.events. And you'll notice that auto imports for us. And then we're going to choose added to stage. So you can see all the different events that come up here. So when this is added to stage, we're going to want to add button. Add button is going to be the actual function that's called when this event kicks off. So to have that happen, we're going to declare a new function. And you'll notice what we've done here is that we've declared this as a function called addButton, which matches this here. And then we pass through our event added to stage. And in ActionScript, we set our return type on function. So this isn't going to actually return anything, so we set the return type to void. Another thing I'm going to do is just fix a bit of this indexing here, because I like to keep things nice and neat in my code. So what we're going to do, once this is all set, is actually do a couple of things to make our button visible. So to make something visible, we're going to need to apply our theme. So all we need to do is say new Metalworks mobile theme. And that's pretty simple. And once we do that, our theme will be available for us to use. So you'll notice here that I've already declared button. So let's copy button and paste it here. And we'll set button equal to a new button instance. And then we'll set the button label property equal to hi Joseph. And then all we need to do is add this button to our display. So this dot add child, and then we're going to pass in our button object here. All right, so let's test this. We'll run it and see what happens. Okay, so here we have our button, and we can interact with the button. You can tell as I press down that it changes state. And although there's no real positioning going on or anything like that, it's definitely using the theme that we created as well. So we now have feathers and a specific theme functioning within our Starling project.